my radar to the point that he don't know this, but like I was pitching a show idea years ago and I had his name in the pitch document. Like that, yeah, and he don't know this shit, you know. And then I had recently reached out to him because we was actually in the process of working on the show. But I'm like, he was busy, and I was like, cool, you got shit going on. So I you know, because what this is what I respect about him, even when he was like, he was busy, he was about to tape his special. I'm like, the reason I didn't get in my feelings, I'm like, what he's doing is correct. Everything he's doing is right. So whatever his gut is telling him to do, nigga, follow that shit. You know, fuck me, fuck whatever my idea is. If whatever you doing is correct. So that's why when he was like, I'm busy, I just fell back and I'm like, motherfucker, he don't know this, but in my mind, I'm like, go do you, because what you doing is working.
Yeah, and it's born out of just like the rejection and being forced down that certain path. But yeah, now it's like, there's no other path for this guy. This is his path to greatness.
Absolutely. When did you all decide to begin the Flagrant 2? And this gonna sound like a dumbass question. I'm sure y'all get this question all the time, but I don't know the answer to it. Was there a Flagrant 1?
No. He and I had been, to be honest, when he started Brilliant Idiots with Charlemagne, that was, I told him, this is the first time in your career I'm jealous of you because I know how good this is going to be. And also because I don't even think I felt comfortable enough saying this to him because it was like mad vulnerable. But I was like, I want us to do a podcast together. I think a podcast with us would be great. And I had thought that we even tried doing like a video podcast once or twice, like in year 3 of comedy, and it was garbage. But like, I always thought he and I would be great on a podcast, but Brilliant Idiots took off. It was so good for him. It was great. I never wanted to, and he's always done so much for me that I never wanted to like ask him for anything. But then he would have me guest fill in on Brilliant Idiots sometimes. And then he and I started talking about doing a podcast together. And the second he approached me, I was like, whatever, let's do it. Whatever you want to do. I think it would go. And we recorded a couple episodes at his house just to see what we talk about. And we thought like, we need an anchor of something that isn't polarizing. And we can talk about whatever we want to, but this is our marketing thing. This is what we anchor it with. And sports is what we both fell on. Actually, he probably said sports, and I was like, great, I love sports. I know he doesn't love it as much as me, but like, I'll talk about sports and then get crazy. And Flagrant 2 is the basketball foul that gets you thrown out of the game. Like, you're just trying to hurt the other person.
Oh, gotcha.
So it fit perfectly. So we said, let's do this, Flagrant 2. And it was more sports intensive, but we kind of knew we're going to let go of the sports. I think he wanted to let go of it more than me because I truly love sports. But like, a lot of people don't care about it that much. Like, and I'm not saying this to pick on you. You didn't know what Flagrant 2 was. You're like most people. Most people are like, whatever, man, be funny.
Right.
I don't know all those basketball fouls.
Because I like sports, but I don't love sports like that. Right.
And most people aren't tuning in for a podcast on sports. So we kind of saw that. And then the thing that he again foresaw was like, the thing that made this special was the friendship more than the knowledge or the insight or whatever. So we kind of leaned into the friendship. We added a couple other people. We had to remove 1 or 2 people, but like, I'm
about to say, didn't y'all have like a third host or something?
Yeah. There's the whole drama with that. But he and everybody's good. We're on good terms. But it was a thing.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it ended up being like this thing that we've really kind of, and we both knew, again, we don't want to be apologetic for anything. So we knew it's going to be raw.
How long were you all doing the sports topic before you all realized we need to transition into broader topics?
Pretty recently, like just before Corona, we had been transitioning more and more, but just before Corona, we're like, let's lean into the non-sports as much. Like, I think we changed the category on Apple Podcasts from sports to comedy. And especially as Andrew blew up as a comedian, like, it just doesn't make sense to do a sports podcast with a comedian with 1 million YouTube subscribers for his stand-up. You know what I mean? So I think it just made more, and we'll still talk about it, but it's like the way guys talk about sports, where you come to it, you talk about it, but you're not getting like dorky about it. You're just talking about it, and then I'm down to get dorky about it. But like, we'll talk about it, we'll touch on it. What's an interesting angle about this, and then let's move on.
So here's a question, because I feel like this is something that you're doing brilliantly also, and I guess you and Andrew are doing this brilliantly, is marketing.
Hmm.
How did you start using YouTube and Instagram to start building your fan base and people that's loyal to your brand?
So luckily well, I guess also luckily for Andrew, he had Brilliant Idiots and he had a fan base from that. Luckily for me, I had Flagrant 2 and Andrew's help, and I had a fan base from that. And I just he was like, just do whatever I do. And I would just, hey, put up a clip every week. And I knew for me, I wanted to be, and I think we've talked about this or he brought it up, like, what's your ultimate goal? And then backtrack from there. My first ultimate goal, I want to be the greatest ever, or one of the greatest ever. First, I want to be like the greatest Indian comic. There's no question who the greatest my kind of brown comic is. That needs to be me. I need that. I want that throne, that crown. So I kind of, and I'm like you know, I've always been very proud to be an Indian. I know that's my market. Once they find out about me, they don't know yet. Once they find out, it's gonna be different.
But you feel like they're knowing you now, though,
A
right?
little bit, but not quite. They tend to
Okay.
not know about people until they're on the Netflix show or the whatever. Once everybody else fucks with them, we're the opposite of black people. Black people will make you famous if you're black, is what I always hear. And brown people will wait till you're famous and then they'll make you more famous.
Okay. Cultural difference.
So yeah. Which I respect the way y'all do it much more. Y'all don't need other people's cosigns. Indians, I feel like, need the cosign of other people in mainstream stuff, and then they're like, oh, this guy.
Gotcha.
But from that goal, I've always tried to market us in a certain sense, like in India, or I've never run from doing shows in India. If any Indian asked me to do a podcast, and I know he's not like a bad guy or whatever, yeah, let's do it. And then I've also tried to like find every edge within like the way I caption an Instagram video. It's a very specific way. Like, how do you keep people engaged? And then the marketing is just like kind of marketing to my fans, like, yo guys, thank you. We're doing this together. I hope you know it's not just me. We're all doing this together.
Right.
And
So making them feel included
yeah,
in your
making them feel
success.
included and letting them know this is because of you. You are a part of this, and not letting them forget that. Let's all do this together.
What
And
was
we
the
did this
first
with nothing.
what was the first YouTube video or Instagram clip that you started to really get some traction and let you know you was headed in the right direction?
So I randomly had a video that I knew would be good, but it was me and a heckler going back and forth for like 6 minutes or something. It's actually like 13, and I cut it down. And this is like 2013. I put it online, and it just sat there, and it got up to like almost 100,000 views. And all of a sudden, it hit the front page of Reddit, and it got 600,000 views and 500,000 on World Star. Apparently, Dave Chappelle saw it and thought it was really funny. My homie Mo Amer was telling me, that's Dave's
Damn.
boy. And I didn't even know that until recently, but that just went. And I was like, all right, I didn't know how to capitalize on that. Then when I started putting clips up, the first Instagram clip I put up had 450,000 views. And it was like,
The
oh
first
shit.
Instagram clip you put up?
IG video I put up, it hits 450,000 views. I'm like, yo, this is about to be lit. Let's go. I'm getting like 300-400 followers a day. My Instagram videos are doing well, 100,000, 200,000. I'm going. And then all of a sudden I get shadow banned because I have a couple of posts that people reported. So you would have to type my entire name to get to my IG handle. And even then I'd be like the fourth one, fifth one, whatever.
Damn.
And my views they plummeted from like hundreds of thousands to like 8,000, 9,000, 10,000. And that lasted, I got reported like multiple times. So I couldn't shake that for like 3 months. So that slowed me down there. But the one good thing is it kind of refocused my efforts on YouTube, where I would upload videos on YouTube every week, but I was like, whatever. They're getting like 100 views, 200 views, 300 views. I had 500 subscribers at the time. And some of them hit 3,000 or whatever. Then all of a sudden, one video hit 300,000 on YouTube. And the thing about going viral is you don't really even want your first video to go viral. It's almost better if your fifth or sixth video goes viral, because once people see a video that they like, they'll say, oh, what else does he have? So my videos went from 300,000 on one and like 1,000 on the other, but then it started bleeding into the other ones. And I had like 3-4 videos at 100,000. And then every viral video does the same thing. It floats everything else up. And it's not like every video goes viral. I had my first 2 clips hit 1 million. The heckler one finally hit 1 million, and then another one hit 1 million recently. But like, that's kind of how that happened.
Let me tell you why I feel the biggest mistake, the only thing that I feel like I kind of regretted was I was on YouTube super early.
You were.
I was doing schedule. Like when I remember when I was doing YouTube, the only other black people I saw on YouTube was Donald Glover, Affion Crockett, and maybe Lil Duval. That was it when it came. And I have, and back then viral meant your shit got 1 million views. So I had videos doing that. And at the time I was like, damn, I don't know if I want to be known as an online comedian, because it was like a stand-up versus online comedian thing going on. So that I stopped doing fucking YouTube. Then I seen a YouTube comedian book a movie called The Heat. His name's Spoken Reasons. And he booked a movie called The Heat. I was like, I need to get back on you.